So you're thinking about living in the suburbs of Boston and have a budget of $1.2 to $1.5 million. Are you wondering what those dollars will get you in Metro West? In this video, I'll be talking about some recent listings that closed between $1.2 million and $1.5 million in Greater Boston. I'm Jane. I'm a realtor based in Wellesley, Massachusetts, and my channel is all about relocating to the Boston area. So please subscribe, as each week I'll share a different video about different communities and share some helpful information to make your relocation as smooth as possible. And if you're thinking about moving, please reach out. I've had some wonderful families find me right here that I have helped find the right community, the right house, and closed on their dream home. So let's take a look at some homes that actually closed in the last 3 months, the first 3 months of 2024, as we're just in early April 2024, and you can see what your dollars will actually buy you. First house we're going to talk about is 18 Hartford Street, which is a more traveled road in Dover, Massachusetts, on the southern side towards Westwood. So this house just sold for $1,470. It's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and typical of Dover, it has an acre lot. So there was a lot of building going on in the 60s in Dover. So there's probably plenty of houses like this, kind of a colonial 2-car garage attached, but a nice big lot, outstanding schools. And if you're commuting to Boston, you can hop onto the train in nearby Westwood or nearby Needham, but that actually is no train station in Dover. This is really nice. There's some nice high ceilings, some nice detail, lots of built-ins, and a very pretty kitchen, nice white and bright. And certainly someone could come and put the stamp on it, maybe update the decor, but decent bones here and room for your kids to play. So not surprisingly, with how hot this market has been, this house was listed for $1,385 and sold for $1,470. So this is an example of why you need a buyer's agent to help you understand what the local market looks like. And do I have to go in over asking, what do I do to make my offer stand out against the competition? Because I am not sure how many offers there were, but we know there was more than one. And the next house we're going to talk about is in my hometown of Lexington. So this is in a neighborhood of a bunch of mid-century modern contemporaries built in an area called Turning Mill Estates, which is super cool. And this is 4 beds, 2.5 baths, actually a pretty good sized lot of almost 3/4 of an acre, and built in the mid 60s. And it last sold for $1,410. But you will see that it's got some really nice deck house style finishes. So this is what we call a deck house. It's kind of built in the 60s, lots of oriented towards the yard, lots of simple lines, low slung roof, not a lot of colonial bric-a-brac, which we're very famous for in Greater Boston. And this style of home is having a resurgence of popularity, very Mad Men, if you will. So it's a really nice neighborhood. As you can see, 2-car garage, which is key, room for your kids to play, nestled in among the trees. So inside you'll see the cathedral ceilings, you'll see very minimalist decor, which kind of goes with the style of the home. Nice wood-burning fireplace here, and still hardwood floors. We New Englanders love our hardwood floors. You're seeing this more now, but notice there is no crown molding. There's a very minimal baseboard and no trim around the windows. It's just a very streamlined look. And a nice kitchen has been updated. So for a home built in the 60s, if I had this listing, I would be so happy that it had a newer kitchen, because this is definitely what would appeal to modern buyers. They want that mid-century modern look outside, but boy, do they like a nice, clean, updated kitchen inside. So super nice, light and bright. So I love these windows over the bed. Gives good privacy, but good light. A nice place to do your laundry. So that was 22 Partridge Rd, which sold for $1,410 in just this very week in April of 2024. The next house we're going to look at is in Natick. So this is a community that's west of Wellesley. The schools are not quite as highly rated as Wellesley, Dover, and Lexington. So you're getting a little bit more for your dollar. You're also a little bit further out, but not far. We spent many happy years living in Natick before we moved to Wellesley. And this home is 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, almost 6,000 square feet, including the basement, and recently sold for $1,500. So it's a really nice development of newer homes that were built, oh God, I guess not so new anymore, right around 2000, and a big, elegant colonial. So this is a good place to look at what we're seeing in the home styles that have been built in the last 25 years of more traditional colonial. This is a nice big house, 3-car garage. It has these nice dormers for some light on the 3rd floor. And the reason this went for $1,500 is it has some dated finishes. So for example, example, we don't see a lot of these black and white tiles in the foyer anymore. Now we would tend to see hardwood. But what I do like about this house, it's nice and lots of windows, tall ceilings, and it has nice trim. Like you can see going up the stairs here, you've got nice wainscoting. Big soaring ceilings, giant windows, such a pretty house. And this is a gas fireplace. So these homes typically have one gas, one wood. Oh, and this is also very typical of 1999, 2000-ish, to have these second story foyers, which I can tell you from someone with 3 active children can be loud. It was very trendy around 2000 to have these soaring ceilings with the 2-story foyers. And then this is a nice open concept. What I love about this is your open kitchen, dining, family, deck, trees. It's really how we live. But again, time to update the tile floor. In New England, we see a lot more hardwood, like this, for example, in the dining room. And again, darker kitchens are actually coming back. We're seeing more natural wood tones, but for years it's been white, 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 then gray and white on white. And then we've started to move into some color, and now we're circling back to some natural woods, which is a nice refresh as we head into the second quarter of 2024. But certainly at 1.5, you're getting all the bells and whistles you'd expect of a high-end kitchen with a professional grade range. And look at this nice office with that way cool desk, which looks like it's made out of leather. Yes, it doesn't come at the house, but we can still look at it, and lots of built-ins. So that was 17 Harvest Moon Drive in Natick. Now, this is a good example of how your dollar doesn't go as far in neighboring Wellesley. So Wellesley is closer to Boston, slightly higher rated schools. I've covered Wellesley a lot in other videos that you should definitely check out. But I thought this house was a good buy. I had buyers, actually a family that found me on YouTube. We looked at this house carefully, but they ended up buying in a town a little further out because they decided they would rather have more space than the convenience of the Wellesley address. So one thing that was great about this house was that it is walk to elementary, middle, and high school. You could walk to the train. It's convenient to Route 9, but not so close that it's loud. And it was on for 1.3 and it sold for 1.353. So here we're just $150,000 different in price from the Natick house, but it's 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, 1/4 of an acre, and dated. That is just a striking example of where your dollar goes in one town to the other. Excellent neighborhood. We used to live in this neighborhood. We owned a home very much like this, which we ended up adding on to before we moved. This is built in the 30s. So this is typical 1930s. You get a nice fireplace in the living room, hardwood floors. Ceilings are like 8 feet-ish, not the soaring ceilings that you got in Natick. But this was a nice blank slate that someone could update kitchens and baths. And even I had figured out a way for my people to add a primary bath upstairs. But just a nice basic colonial in Wellesley for 1.353. So this looks nice and white and bright, but definitely was ready for a refresh or an update. And so you can see the powder room's not too exciting. And this was the primary bedroom where we figured out where you could put a primary bath that backed up to the other bath. Because as a contractor's wife, I am trained to always see if I can figure out a way to put plumbing in that is easy for the plumber and cheaper for the owner. So you could turn this nice closet into a bathroom, and then there was room to add a closet elsewhere to make it a 3-bed, 2.5 bath. And then this is the family bath, which, this is original tile for sure. But these homes are well built, solid, and it is a winner for this neighborhood at this price. So there's a snapshot of what you can get for between 1.2 and 1.5 million in Greater Boston here as we sit at the end of the first quarter of 2024. So if you're thinking about moving here and have questions about another price range or want to talk more specifically about what your family's plans are, please reach out as I'd love to help you. And if you're curious about what it's like to work with me, here are the 5 steps. First, we'd have an introductory phone or Zoom call so I could understand your goals and timing and make sure that you're connected to a terrific lender. And I can talk about the process of buying in Massachusetts. Every state's a little bit different. Then we'll talk about the needs and wants you have in a home, your price point, and we can start sharing homes that you like and that I think you might like, and schedule a time for us to actually see the homes in person once you're here. And then when we do see the homes, I'll always be sharing competitive information about what's happening with competing listings, because that helps you be a more informed buyer and make a smart buying decision. So if you have other questions or thoughts, please leave it in the comments, and I will see you in the next video where we'll be looking at the price point of $1.5 to $2 million in Greater Boston Metro West. Thanks for watching.